Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Life with a Sweetie. Today we have a special guest, yes, and that is my eldest. And we are going to be discussing a few things that we, as mother and child, this is like one of our discussions, not daily, but So say hi.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm my mom's eldest. I just wanted to introduce myself to you guys. I am transgender, so female to male. Yeah, wait, start it over. Was I supposed to say that?
I didn't know if you was ready to say that.
I was just okay. Wait, start it over. I was gonna put that out there. So.
I thought we was gonna do a separate video on that.
Oh yeah, but they don't know who I am.
Okay, well, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Keep going? Okay.
Yeah, keep going. We don't gotta cut it out.
Okay, yeah, so I'm my mom's eldest. I'm transgender, female to male. And it's very nice to meet you all. Today I will be talking about an article that I found for a school project. I currently go to the university in my state, and I had to do a project as it pertains to Black culture. And I found an article by a Black man, Calvin A. Johnson, where he discusses the miasmic culture of Black ghettos in America.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that he discusses in the article is the idea of Black single mothers. He basically created a generalization of Black single mothers in these particular ghettos. And I felt as though he was using that as a majority.
Okay, so because we have different perceptions, what is your perception of it? What do you think? I know the generalization is not, a good thing, because a lot of people, they're unfortunate in their situations. They come from nothing, so they end up in the ghetto.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they don't aspire to come out of the ghetto, or they don't try to come out of the ghetto.
Right.
Okay, but what are your perceptions?
I think, systematically speaking, Black women are definitely the most hated in, not even outside of America, just in every culture for some particular reason. And I think even though he highlighted the Black mothers, I think he should also highlight the Black absent fathers. And he did delve into it a little bit as far as like domestic violence goes, but I think we need to remember that, these women, they're raising these children. He shouldn't just do a generalized stereotype that, okay, all Black mothers on welfare, sit at home and smoke weed and do these things that are deemed pleasurable, when in actuality that's not really the case. They struggle every day. It's not It's not what he's saying it is. I do understand his concept, but to do such a harsh generalization, he should make it a little bit more broad.
Yeah. Well, you can obviously tell that he is coming from a place of hurt. And when you come from a place of hurt, obviously he has gone through this. No, what I will say is, Black men, we love you, we love you, we love you. And I understand where he's coming from for the mere fact of, yes, there is racism. Yes, there is, most Black women, he's acting as if we are single by choice. Sometimes it is unfortunate that we do have to break up a home, but sometimes though we do break up a home, there is a reason for that. It's not like we just get up and, just decide, hey, we want to be a single mother, because being a single mother is literally one of the hardest things that you can do. And I must also add that when he talks about Black women, okay, I get it, because not all mothers are great mothers. When he states that, it's mostly deemed pleasurable, I get it. And the reason why I say I get it, because having gone through some things, and then I remember speaking with an individual. I'll give you a prime example. I remember speaking with an individual, and an individual told me that, my mom said I shouldn't sign my kid's birth certificate because, you know, we're in America and America always gets the dads for child support. And I was just taken aback by that because, you know, as a mother, what would possess a mother to give, like, I would never give my son that advice. I would give my son the advice, you look, you made your bed, you lay in it, you know, you got this person pregnant, you know, be a man, you know, whatever it takes to support your child, you do it. Don't run away from this. And most importantly, think about your child, you know, later down the line, and they're looking at their birth certificate and they're like, oh, why didn't my dad sign it? Especially if the dad is around the child, you know? So I understand where he's coming from. He's coming from a place of trauma. And unfortunately, some Black women do choose to go out and do certain things or put certain things in front of their children. So I get what he's saying a little bit. I really and truly do, because the stories that I've literally heard, and you know, you got some Black women who would literally make their spouse or their significant other, you know, harm their children, you know, sexually and things of that nature. And that is just, I can't understand as a mother how you would know certain things and you put up with certain things so bad, because, but it should come to like drawing the line when it comes to like your children, you know, and in terms of certain type of abuse, you know. Unfortunately, with my kids, we have gone through, you know, like a verbal, but no man could touch my kid. You know, no man
well,
yeah, or vice versa. You know, yeah. I mean, like that you have to be able to draw the line, not because you want to be with a man so bad. And I guess another thing I want to touch on too with Black men, it's almost like they're always standing on the necks of Black women. And I get it. You know, having gone through slavery, you know, you guys were the ones out in the field, getting whipped, and at night, you know, you do have to, your ancestors witness, the white man coming in and, you know, raping your woman, and that mental hardship has been passed down generations through generations. But what you guys got to understand is, we look to you guys as leaders. We look to you guys as protectors. So we understand that when you go out in the field right now, you may even experience racism. Us women, we do also, but I think maybe for men, it's on a greater scale, because men are told to toughen up, suck it up. Men don't show their emotions. So, you know, when they come home or when they have to deal with a Black female, it's almost like when they look at the Black female, they're seeing everything that their mom did wrong, or, you know, everything that's representative of what they went through. So unfortunately, they take all their anger on the Black female that they're with. And that is not a right thing to do. Is there anything that you want to add?
Well, that was basically going to be it. So I think we're all a product of where we come from. And sometimes these Black men, they come from, you know, abusive mothers or abusive Black mothers, or just, you know, their hatred for Black women just, I don't think stems from slavery, but more so the woman in their life.
I think it stems from slavery, because it's just passed on, the hardship and the way how, you know, for example, like I know with my parents, my dad's father was literally a very hard man.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and you know, they went through a lot, and there are things that he didn't want to pass on to us, and there are things that I don't want to pass on to my children. So they do pass it on, but I think as generation goes, you know, further and further, then we become more aware.
Definitely becomes more interpersonal. It's kind of the same thing, like systematic slavery versus private racism.
Mm-hmm.
That's another article that I used for my project. There's a book called Private Racism, and it addresses private racism versus institutionalized racism. I think as a society, we tend to focus on institutionalized on the college level, the workforce, or like, black women, like Ketanji Jackson, the new Supreme Court Justice, how, I think she's a perfect example of representation of, strong black women. She has, dread, she has, and during her...
That's why I'm serving it today, the real hair.
Well, if you look at her trial, not her trial, but her initiation, pretty much how they were asking her about certain views about, hey, define a woman. And she's like, well, I'm not a biologist. And I think in certain moments, they tried to get her to be the angry black woman that society has painted in their head of a black woman, but she definitely stayed respectful, and she definitely was very, very smart. I think as a society, we have these perceptions of black people as a whole, that black men are angry, black women are angry.
When it's literally all humans
it's
are,
just human emotions.
Right. It's literally, it's not because you're black, because, there's black angry men, there is white angry men. We're all humans. We all have that tipping point where sometimes, we're just humans. It's just a matter of, education is a big thing too. Learning how to control your emotions,
I'm still learning.
Unfortunately, I think the issue is with a lot of black men, they won't seek therapy. They won't talk to people. I think a lot of black men, to be honest, keep a lot of things just bottled up inside of them. And we forget to realize that they go through insecurity. Another thing, they go through insecurity. Like, at least for us females, when we have a little thinning hair, we could put on a wig, we could put on a lipstick, we could put on makeup. There's so much things that women can do to enhance themselves. And then I believe that men, the reason why majority of them, especially black men, stand on the neck of women is because they don't have the same opportunities, a certain sense, as women to make themselves feel better. And then they're told to be tough, and they can't display their real self. A lot of black men, they don't cry. They think, oh, if you cry, you're emotional. No, God made tears for a reason. Believe me. If you're feeling a certain type of way, there is nothing wrong in going to the bathroom or letting out a cry, going to your room, letting out a cry. It literally cleanses the soul. Now, if you're getting up and you're crying every day now, then
that's a different issue.
Right. Then you need, therapy to get through whatever you're going through. But it's okay to cry.
But you have to understand, Mom, too. I think it also, obviously, I've kind of seen both ends of the spectrum, growing up as a black female and then transitioning to male. But I understand why. Testosterone itself isn't just, it's a very hard hormone. And even being on testosterone now, I don't think I can remember the last time I actually was able to cry. For some reason, mentally, it changes things. You're a little bit more hard. You're a little bit more to yourself. You get angry more. I know you've noticed my
I've noticed
anger.
I've noticed that.
Now that I'm sort of like integrating myself into like a male's shoes, I get it. So I think it's hard. It's hard to open up, but because I already have that background, that femininity, I'm able to kind of articulate around it. But for born men, it's a little bit harder for them to make that distinction. But and again, black men, even if you look at articles of like black men going to different countries, they're being called the N-word. They're seen as aggressive. When people see a black man, they clutch their purse. Black men are really perceived as, violent individuals, and that could be, from experiences. I think we could all kind of really be real here. I think if we have a negative experience with a particular race or a particular person, you're automatically going to make that distinction all the time. So I think, a lot of these people, they go through bad experiences with, a black man. Or exactly, then you're like, okay, this is the generalization. So I think that's also really important too, that we don't need to do it, but it happens.
It's almost like a human instinct that happens. And it's just a sad thing because, our black men, they're so strong. They're just so, resilient. And you know, the power doesn't always mean, you know, aggression.
Right.
But again, it's all in how, you know, who you are, your DNA, your biological, your DNA does obviously make you the person who you are. How you grew up, your environment, your parents, the schools you went to, your neighborhood, your childhood friends, yeah, the influences, you know, it does. So I can see why it is disproportionate that the assumption is the black man is the most angriest, because they are the one who is, you know, if you think about it, the biological DNA from slavery coming in, you know, they already have that resilience. Then you think of black people in a whole are mostly in the ghetto. So there goes the hardship. Then you think about maybe the black mom, you know, has, you know, maybe drinking habit, crack habit, you know, the dad in and out of prison or whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm saying. I understand the article in a certain sense, but it's like generalization of all black people when that is not right. We're not supposed to be generalizing people, you know? It's just not a right thing to do. That is not love. We should just love one another. And the way how I judge a person is by how they act, how they treat others, how they treat me, you know? And to be honest with you, with us black people, we are so quick to go for each other's head and to put down one another. It sickens me. It really does, because, you know, I prefer a racist because at least you know what a racist is. But when, you know, it's your own kind that is constantly just, you want to elevate, you want to buy that house, you want to buy that car, you want to go to school. And then for another black individual who is not doing that, there's always tend to be a lot of jealousy amongst ourselves. And again, I think it just comes from the oppression. But at some point, we got to stop making that excuse and say, hey, you know.
That is a good point, because I always say this all the time. I think if we want to make change, we can't keep relying on the same politicians to integrate that change. If, you know, black people want to elevate, I understand, like we always talk about, there's different circumstances and things like that. But if you really think about it, you don't need a degree to become a police officer. You don't need a degree. Become those people that are your oppressors and sort of make that change gradually, like Ketanji Jackson, like the Supreme Court. She's going to be the first black female Supreme Court justice because she made that change. It's, you know, like even speaking for ourselves, we didn't grow up with, you know, money. Like we've definitely struggled, and I've seen my mom struggle, and I'm like, you know what, I want to make that change. So now I'm going to, you know, a university, then I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to make that change and make myself the person that is supposed to be oppressing me. So you kind of have to make that change. And again, there's different circumstances. I understand that, but at the same time, I have a thing about worth ethic. It's, you know, college is expensive. I get that, but now I'm going to college on a scholarship because my grades are good. It's, you have to be able to put in those blood, sweat, and tears to get things going. You know. Right.
Sacrifice. That's what it is. And, you know, that's what I instill in my kids. And regardless of whatever we have gone through, you know, as I said, I know I'm not the best mother of the century, but, you know, I do my best. No, I do my best to, you know, like, I leave the door open. Like, come and talk to me. Talk to me about whatever you want. You know, the love is there. The encouragement is there. You can do this. There's nothing that you can't do. And, you know, it's just a sacrifice that we all have to make. And if we didn't go get certain privileges, or we didn't do certain things, or we made certain mistakes, we just want to make sure that your kids got to be better than you, period. That is how it's supposed to be. And even me, you know, I feel like I got all boys, you know, I encourage them to show emotion. I encourage them to tell me how you're feeling today. You know, if you're just walking around not being able to, you know, express yourself, how are you going to handle the pressures of bullying? How are you going to handle the pressures of your peers? You know, if you cannot express yourself. And if you have a family dynamic, that's where it starts from there. If you can't express yourself to your family, how are you going to go out in the street and express yourself in a healthy, in a healthy way?
That's a
so it starts from the home,
And especially acceptance. I think if I didn't have love and acceptance, I don't think that I would be comfortable with certain things. But especially, I know my transition's been hard for a lot of people in my life, including my mother.
Yeah, because I cannot say he to the life of me. I still say she.
Still tries, like sometimes we're in public, and I appreciate that. But also, I know that I'm loved, and my mom loves me. Like it's not a thought of like, oh, my mom doesn't love me. Like I know my mom loves me.
I love all my children, and being a Christian, being as though that's why I was like, I wanted to do for another video, but you started. But being a Christian and having a transgender kid, it's really, really hard because your beliefs come into play. But like I tell my child, your sin is not greater than my sin who had you out of wedlock. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Jesus was love. Jesus loves everyone. So it'll be just sick for me to think, oh, what you doing in his sex life? No, that is you. That is your choice. I'm only here to parent, and I'm only here to show love and acceptance to who you are, just like Jesus did to the thief, to the prostitute, to whatever, sin you may commit or create. I'm talking about on a biblical sense. It's not for me to judge, so of course I'm going to be loving. Of course I'm going to be accepting to my child. There's no other if, ands, or buts. And anyone who comes in my life, that is how it's just going to be, a period. You love the Lord, you love God, you're a Christian, and you do have belief and faith.
I believe in God just as much as my mom does. So even though I'm trans, or, I think a lot of people think, oh, you're trans, you must hate God, or you're part of the LGBT.
No.
Definitely
it's
Christian.
Your choice. It's your cross to bear. It's you and God.
Right.
I'm not, it's you and God. It's you and nobody else, because at the end of the day, somebody out there could not be transgender. They killing, stealing,
right.
They doing
you
all
gotta
that.
be able to love. Your heart has to be pure. You have to be a good person. I understand that, me being trans, obviously it doesn't fall under, Adam and Eve or whatever. But at the same time, I know I'm a good person. I'm caring. I love the people around me. I would never do anything to hurt anyone or, really just, I think that's what it's really about, honestly, is make sure you're a good person, you help people, and, you bring a smile to people's faces. Like, I think that's pretty important. That's life. Just be happy and be positive, and good things will come. Heaven will come. Good things will happen to you.
He said heaven will come. And here, I mean, life. You get up.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like,
right? Yeah, no. I mean, we talk about this a lot. I get it.
Yeah.
You just gotta be yourself. You just gotta let go. And the thing that I don't really like is just the pressures of society. They pressure you to be basically who you're not.
Since we're on this topic,
I don't like that. Like, you guys can't pressure me to be who I'm not. I'm going to be who I am, which is I get up, I be a loving, caring person. I try every day to, be the person that Jesus was. Like, he's my example. So what would he do? What would Jesus do? That's just how I live my life. And I'm not saying I don't have struggles. I'm not saying it's not hard.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not human. Of course I'm human, but you got to just put one foot forward in front of the other and let nobody change you. Nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody could dare tell me that I'm not beautiful in my natural hair. Nobody can tell me because I'm a black woman, I'm nothing. Nobody can tell me that there's anything. If I don't do something, it's because I don't want to do it. And believe it or not, I've always been this way since I was a child. But we just gotta be to that point in society where we're stop looking for other people's acceptance, because it's not gonna happen. You gotta accept yourself. Is there anything else you want to add? I know this video went all the way.
The next video, we're definitely going to talk about, I want to talk about the Don't Say Gay bill in the southern states. I was like, maybe we're like integrating too many topics, but
yeah, I think
definitely,
I did not think this video was
going to be that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm pretty talkative. I like to learn. I like to you know, stuff like this interests me. But next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's what we want. And what was the name of this guy who wrote the article?
Calvin A. Johnson. I don't know where exactly he's from. He's a man of color. But he didn't really, you know, I didn't like the fact how he attacked a black woman in just that first body paragraph. And attack is the appropriate word, because he generalized a little bit too much.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of black men do that. And I think it's just coming from a place of hurt, a place of, I guess, maybe their childhood, you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, some black men do, you know, despise their mothers because of, you know, whatever they went through, trauma. But, you know, you guys got to be able to, I'm not going to say put the trauma aside, because trauma is who we are. But if you do get over your trauma, I want to say, you know, it just puts you in a better place to be able to judge every black woman or every individual for who they are as a person, as opposed to say, you know, all black women are this, or, you know, try to put them down, or you're ugly because your hair is not a certain length, or you're ugly because you don't have a certain skin color. And we have it hard enough coming from, you know, the racist. You know, we don't need to be stepping on each other's, you know, toes and stuff like that. Yeah, that is JC. That's crying, my son. So yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna see what's going on with the little ones.
Yeah.
Alrighty.